This is a 2017 Toyota Yaris IA, and it is my favorite daily driver. This 2017 Toyota Yaris IA was bought in 2017 by my parents for the low price of $13,900. Brand new. This model is a manual, so a lot of people don't want a manual. And my parents did want a manual, so they bought this for my sister as she was going away to college. My sister, however, was not too keen on the idea of driving a manual, so she passed it on to me. And now it is my daily driver. I drive this to school every day, and it is a delight, and I just love it. This also serves as a family car. We often go on trips, and we do not have enough space in one car for 6 people, so we end up taking this car and my mom's car wherever we go, and myself and my 4 siblings cram ourselves into this little car. Actually, there is not a ton of rear seat room in this car. And you can imagine trying to cram 2 6-foot-tall people right in front and behind of each other. It is not the most comfortable long road trip car. However, my siblings do say that they prefer this to my sister's car, which is a Hyundai Elantra or something, because they have a place to rest their heads in this car. So, allow me to take you on a tour of the quirks and features of this 2017 Toyota Yaris IA and show you why I love it so much. And then I will take it out on a drive and give it a Logan score. All right, starting off with the first quirk of this car. This is actually made by Mazda. This car just has the Toyota branding on it. And you can even see that under the cup holders. I will show you that in just a minute. All right, climbing into the 2017 Toyota Yaris IA, we find that there is more than enough seat room for even the tallest of people. Now, I am 6 foot, and this seat can go back way further than I need it to. I told you I was going to show you the cup holders. Inside the cup holders, we have these little rubber pieces. And if you look closely, you might just find a Mazda logo underneath. Again, climbing into the car, we have on the door here our window switches, our lock button, and it even has a button to lock access to the rear windows so that your kids cannot put down their windows if you don't want them to. Also here we have a little dial for the mirrors, left and right. And once you get it there, you can push it in the direction that you want. Very nice. On the left here, we have our traction control off, which I have actually used. Here, I'm not sure what this does, actually. So if someone wants to put that in the comments, that would be fantastic. Down here, we have our trunk popper. You could hear the trunk go off, maybe. Down here, we have the gas filler. Listen up, it makes quite a funny little noise. Oh, I can't get over that. Here we have the hood popper. I'm actually not going to pull that one because I don't want to deal with that right now. On to the gauge cluster, though. Here we can see if I push the stop-start button, it turns on the gauge cluster. We can see that I have put 31,663 miles on this car. You can also see in here that this car gets rather fantastic gas mileage, 37.6 miles per gallon. And that is just what I get on the freeway and on the road in the city. So this car is just a fantastic daily driver. It's fun because of the manual transmission, and it is fun because it is light and it has no power whatsoever. Here on the steering wheel, we have our volume control. This changes the info on the little screen to the right here. We have back and forward for music and voice. I actually don't use this. It's kind of meh, but that's okay. We have our call and or pickup and hang up buttons for calls. We have a cancel button and reset button for our cruise control, which is nice. We have cruise control off and on. And one thing I love about this car compared to my sister's car is when you press cruise control on, it stays on. It remembers when you start the car the next time that you had cruise control on. And I just love that. My sister's car, every time you turn off the car, you have to turn cruise control back on. And it is so frustrating that it doesn't just remember that you want cruise control on. It is so annoying. Okay, moving right of the gauge cluster, we have our little screen here. Now, I am a computer science major in college, and you would think that I would want the most technology possible. However, this car's beauty is in its simplicity, believe me. This may not be the fastest and most intuitive screen ever. It may not have Apple CarPlay. It may not have all of those extra things, but it does have everything that you need. We have navigation on the screen, built-in navigation. Actually, we had to install a little card somewhere. I believe it's in the glove box or something. We have our backup camera. That's very useful. I use it all the time, obviously. And some of the beauty here is in the dials for the air conditioning and heating. These dials are super simple. We have this one, which goes from hot to cold, cold to hot, hot to cold. And we have our AC button. No automatic, and I love that. I do not like automatic climate control. I will set the climate control how I want it. It's very simple. We have our fan speed here. We have the recirc button over here, and then I forgot what this one's called, but that's air from the outside. We have our rear defroster. And then over here, we have where you want that air to come out. It's just so simple. It's elegant, it's simple, it's dials. You don't have to tap on a screen a million times to get it the way you want it. You just up, down, turn it wherever you want, super fast, boom, 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 done. Nice and easy. And here we have our hazard lights and vents, one here and one over here. Turn signal stock, nothing special. But it does have a nice feel. Okay, moving down, I showed you the stick. The clutch is very light, and we have a nice and notchy shifter. Moving down even further, we have our dial for the screen here. It's controlled by a dial, it's not a touch screen. Just like many other Mazdas. So you have this little dial. It's pretty intuitive. And you have a music button. This takes you directly to the music screen, which I love. I use this all the time. A home button, I don't use that as much. It just takes you to the main menu that's on the screen. Nav, that's for navigation, pretty quick. It's not the most snappy screen ever, but it does its job, and it does it well. A back button, you can push this dial to mute, and it's also a volume knob. Both of these do feel pretty nice. They are kind of snappy. They feel good, pressing the buttons. This, I'm not sure what that does. So even after 3 years of driving this car, I still don't know what some of the things do, but the things that I do use work fantastically. Okay, so what about comfort? Personally, I find this car very comfortable. It has these nice cloth seats that have plenty of cushion, and they're great for long drives. Comfort in the back is a little bit less, but up here, when I'm driving, and I'm almost always the one driving, I'm just in my zone, very comfortable. There's no fancy seat controls. You just have this here, which puts the seat up and down. Personally, I keep it all the way down just because I'm a little bit taller. You have all your controls where you need them. You have the slider. It's just a little lever underneath. Pretty simple. Keep it simple, stupid, you know? Yep. And the clutch. Good. Place for your foot to rest to the left of the clutch. Brake and gas both feel nice. The gas in this car is kind of unresponsive, and that's not because of turbo lag or anything. It feels like there is a turbo that never kicks in. That's how this car feels, kind of, sometimes. So it's slow, but you know, that's fun because driving a slow car fast, to me, is more fun than driving a fast car slow. So it's nice to be able to push the revs a little bit, push the RPM. Definitely happens all the time. You really need to push it in this car. So it is, it's a fun driving experience. Okay, so now I'm going to hop in the back, sitting behind where I would normally sit. So let's see how that goes. Obviously not a ton of leg room here. It's a little tight. I can't sit with my, well, if I sat with my knees directly behind the seat, they would be poking into the driver's back, which is not ideal. So I have to keep my legs to the side, which means that the person sitting in the middle, if there ever is one, is going to be robbed of a little or most of their room. I have this little cup holder thing here, plastic, for passengers in the back, which the car doesn't come with rear seat cup holders unless you want to count this weird little center console cup holder here that's not really a cup holder. It's kind of like a storage place, but you know, this is a good solution. Simple, attaches to the headrest, nice. In terms of headroom, I have enough headroom. If we went around a corner fast, I might bump my head against the edge of the ceiling here, but not too bad. When I close the door, it's a little bit cramped. My left knee is hitting the door, and yeah, it's not a great experience back here, but this is a small sedan. You don't need the most legroom, and besides, usually I'm driving it with just myself in the front and maybe a passenger. But when we do take it on long road trips, and there are 2 or 3 people sitting back here, it's kind of cramped. Now the seats, in terms of comfort, are essentially the same as they are in the front. The backrest is nice and cushy, and so is the bottom of the seat. So still quite comfortable back here. The middle seat is a little bit different. It doesn't have this blue pattern on it, but it is quite cushy too. I do like a cushy seat, and these certainly provide. So that is nice to have. The headrests are kind of strange, and they're okay. They have a little bit of cush to them. They're different from the ones that are in front, and when the people back here have them up, I can't see anything. So there's that. Let's move on to the trunk. All right, moving around to the trunk area here, we can see my stuff that's still in here from work. Yeah, so we can see there is a lot of room. Actually, this is a lot of room. I can fit in this trunk. I guess I'll get in. Might as well. Just have to move some stuff here, like so. All right, let's get in the trunk. So, if you want to kidnap somebody, this is the right car to do it. And we're in. So, it's got enough room for me. 6 foot tall guy, 180 pounds or so. It's pretty big. And you can actually lower the back seats to give you a little bit more room. But yeah, it's definitely a trunk. All right, trying to get out. Let's see if I can do it. Okay. It's a little bit awkward to get in and out of a trunk. I guess they don't expect you to be doing that all the time. Don't step on the bumper. Okay. I know I'm out of breath. Okay, good. So yeah, plenty of trunk room. You guys can't see that super easily, but you know, lots and lots of trunk space. More than enough for any grocery runs that you're gonna do, unless you're getting, I don't know, a giant flat screen TV. Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually having second thoughts. I am actually going to show you the engine compartment because that's what we do. So here, yep, here is the engine compartment popper. That's loud. And coming around to the front, we have our little thing in there. Yep. Push and undo, undo, no, undo, undo. There we go. Okay. We got this to prop it up. Goes right over there. Yeah, can you see that? There. Yeah. Okay. Here we have our little engine. Yes. It's very nice. Nice little engine. New battery. I think it's cute. It's a cute little engine. It's a 4-cylinder. I think it's 106 horsepower. I don't know how many liters it is. We have a little engine cover here. I'm not taking that off because, for one thing, I don't know how, and number two, I don't want to mess things up. I assume that's the alternator. Yeah. Fuse box is probably here. Yep, I knew that. I'm sure. Windshield washer fluid. Boom. Radiators in here somewhere. Yeah, I think it's a cute little engine. This car idles pretty poorly. And it's been like that since we bought it new, and it's just what the car is like. It's not something that needs to be fixed. It's just kind of a rumbly idle. So that's it. It's once you get used to it, it's fine. It's not a luxury car, so you don't expect that much from it, but idle's not super great. And I'm gonna have you guys take a listen to it in just a second. Sounds pretty cool. All right, driving the 2017 Toyota Yaris IA. And this car is just a pleasure to drive. It shifts really well. The clutch is feathery, light, and the stick, oh, I just love it. I prefer it to my mom's car, which is also a manual. And I also prefer it to my dad's car, which is a Suzuki Samurai. It notches in so nicely, and downshifting is nice. Unfortunately, the flywheel is a little bit heavy for me, which means that downshifting is a little bit more difficult, but it's still quite fun to drive and throw around just a little bit. We can cruise in 4th gear at 25 miles an hour. This car really likes to be low in the RPM, and when you're getting up to speed a little bit faster, it doesn't matter if you rev it up. It makes a lot of noise, and it's not really necessary. You can shift to the next gear, and it's not going to give you any more or less power. I think this car is perfect for someone my age, especially at the price. It was a perfect purchase for the time. I had criticized my parents because it was a little bit, out of the blue, but I think they made the right choice, and I certainly appreciate it at this point. In terms of steering is very direct feeling. It's light, and you can definitely do it with 1 or 2 fingers. That's generally what I do when I'm driving down the freeway, just cruising. It's nice to be able to use 2 fingers. My sister's car has a little bit heavier steering, and it gets so tiring to use 2 fingers driving down the road. That's certainly something I appreciate about this car. I just prefer this car to most other cars I've driven. It's so nice to be able to just enjoy the ride. I've driven it up in the mountains, and I love it. It handles so nicely, and it's just fun. In terms of comfort, this car is pretty good. The seats are more plush than my sister's seats, and they're good for long road trips. As I said before, they're just nice seats. They're cloth, and I actually prefer that because leather gets kind of sweaty, and in the summertime, even though these are darker seats, it's nice to have a sort of breathable cloth seat. So in terms of comfort, it's pretty good, and the seats kind of hug your back a little bit, especially if you're a little bit bigger like me. So I do like the seats. Yeah. I mentioned my sister's car before. Actually, it's a 2020 Hyundai Elantra, and it's a nice car to drive, but it has a CVT, so not my favorite. But in terms of ride quality, hers is a little bit better than this one. This car can be a little rough. Idle is a little bit rough too. So, you know, it's not the best, and it is a little bit noisy on the freeway. Yep. Wind noise and engine noise and all the noise, pretty much every kind of noise you can get in a car is present. And it does a pretty good job of reminding you that you're on the road. In terms of ride quality for my sister's car, it's definitely better. But that just adds to the fun. You're connected to the road, I would say, more in this car than you are in hers. So, pretty good. Since we got this car, we have had no issues whatsoever, and I guess that's to be expected from a Toyota, but you know, technically it's a Mazda. I guess Mazdas are reliable. So reliability, it's perfect. I think all we've had to do is oil change and tire change so far, and that's 6 years of ownership. This car does not feel as old as it is. It's certainly amazing to me, and I just love it. I love this car. When it was passed to me, I wasn't super happy, but now that I've gotten to know it a little bit better, with every drive, I love it that much more. It's a fantastic car, and I think it's ideal. All right, so that was the 2017 Toyota Yaris IA. Truly one of my favorite cars. So now let's give it a Logan score. In terms of practicality, it's a 10 for sure. You can fit 5 people in this car, not extremely comfortably. You have plenty of trunk space. Fun factor is very high. 8 maybe? So overall, out of 50 points, this is like a 45. 90%. Great car. Would recommend. Thank you.